Hello, welcome back to CoinJam, and this week saw the release of a new investment coin from RAM, and so we're going to take a look at that today and explain a little bit about what they really mean by the term investment coin. So let's get started. Earlier this week, on Monday, a new coat of arms investment coin was released by the Royal Australian Mint, and this is a lovely design featuring the kangaroo and the emu from the coat of arms in a dual-sided design, and I thought that I would explain a bit more about what an investment coin is, as these have become a bit more popular and more of them have come out from RAM, and some people aren't exactly sure what the difference is between an investment coin and a standard collectible coin or a proof coin. So we're going to have a little look. So I've got some coat of arms coins coming, but they haven't arrived yet because they're still making them, but I do have some of their previous releases. So these four coins here are all classed as investment coins by RAM. We have over here the Sumatran tiger, and then we have two here that are in a series, redback spider, which was the first, and then more recently the great white shark. And then from the shipwreck series, of which there are actually four now, we have this one, which is a nice triangular shape, and you'll notice they've got a cool kind of dual method where you can turn it upside down, and that's kind of to signify the ship underwater as a shipwreck. They've done four of these, and they've also done them in the antique finish, but the antique finish ones are not technically investment coins. So when they say investment coin, what they really are meaning is something akin to a bullion coin. So a bullion coin was something that is tying the price of silver to the coin. So it's really, you're buying some silver. It just happens to be made into a coin, but the primary function of your purchase is to buy silver. Now this is something that Perth Mint kind of started off really. Here's a couple of their more recent ones. The Kookaburra one, which they do a new design of every year, and the wedge-tailed eagle, which they do in a similar fashion, and these they've been doing for a number of years now, decades even. Or at least this one, the Kookaburra, and there is also a kangaroo, a standard kind of kangaroo. They do the same every year, don't change the design. Now, a bullion coin is basically a way of buying yourself some fine metal. So you'll notice it says here on the side there, 999 silver. That's a 0.999 silver. That's the fineness of the silver. So it means that this chunk of silver is 99.99% pure silver. Silver has to be refined, whether it be mined out of the ground or whether it be recycled. It has to be refined down to be to a level of purity before you can technically call it silver. There's such a thing as sterling silver, which is common in jewellery and some other kinds of coins, and that is 0.925, I think, but it needs to be at least 3 nines, so 99.9% silver to be classed as fine silver. This 99.99 silver is, I guess, extra fine, for want of a better word, but it's still classed as fine silver with just the 3 nines. Then we've got a couple of other examples from Perth Mint here. Their Lunar series. So last year's mouse and this year's ox, and they don't just do 1 ounces. This one we have also here in a 1/4 ounce, or is it a 1/2 ounce? Sorry, 1/2 ounce. Sorry, and then they also do that one as a 2 ounce. So all this silver is basically, bullion is a term for the metal that has been produced and is into a form. So even a bar would be called a bullion. A bullion coin is silver that has been made into a coin, and by coin I mean it is actually still legal tender. If it was just shaped like a coin but not legal tender, then you would, if it, in non-investment terms you'd call that a medallion, but in investment terms they call that a round. So a silver round is basically a non-legal tender coin-shaped piece of silver. And most mints do this. Over here I've got an example of the Britannia bullion coin from the UK from 2020. And they occasionally change that design, but for a few years now it's been like this one. So most countries will do some form of bullion because it's a popular method of investment. So with bullion coins, the idea is that you're buying some silver, and the price of silver changes over time, over minutes, basically like a stock or a currency. So for example, today, 1 ounce, these are all 1 ounces apart from the ones the ox ones I showed you, an ounce of silver, the actual price, the spot price as it's referred to on the charts that you can look up, is today about $35 for an ounce. If you were to buy a bullion coin directly from a bullion dealer, you would pay about $44 for a 1 ounce if the spot price is at 35. So basically there's about $9–10 difference between the spot price and buying something like a coin. Now the reason for that is the $35 an ounce is the kind of unrefined, not unrefined, but the theoretical value of the silver in no physical form. So the extra $9 or $10 covers refining that silver into an actual product, minting it into a coin in this particular case, the logistics of then sending that from the mint to a dealer or to you, and obviously a little bit of profit to make it worth their while doing. And that gap between the spot price and the price you pay is called the premium. And so the price will go up based on the price of silver, but it won't necessarily, the premium won't necessarily go up at the same rate. It's sometimes it's fixed so maybe the $9 or $10 will remain a $9 or $10 additional, even if the price of silver goes up. But that's what it's called as a premium. So basically, what you want to do if you want to invest in silver is have as low a premium as possible. So buying a deluxe proof, silver proof, it is silver, that's great, but if you're paying $100, $120 as sometimes 1 ounce proofs can cost, that's a far cry from the $35 the silver is actually worth. So it's not a great way of investing purely in the metal. So these bullion coins are there to reduce that gap from the spot price, which means if the spot price goes up, you can sell your coin and make a profit because people will be willing to pay the going rate. So that's the theory behind bullion coins. And Rams coins, they have called them investment coins. They've specifically avoided the term bullion, although the theory remains the same in that there is a premium over the spot price, but they're trying to keep that down so that you can invest wisely and in it as a piece of silver. And the fringe benefit is you've got a nice thing to look at. Now, because in trying to keep those premiums down, traditionally, bullion coin has a connotation that the strike of the coin is not quite as high a quality as other coins. Now, none of these are claiming to be proof coins, even though they do have nice shiny parts to them. They're not proof coins, but even an uncirculated coin will often be quite a high quality, and these bullion coins were traditionally made with by not cutting corners, but trying to keep the production costs down. So sometimes the strikes wouldn't necessarily be perfect. You might have small imperfections in them, because the concept was to churn them out, because you're not paying for the craftsmanship so much, you're paying for the metal. And whilst Perth Mint's production is still pretty exceptional, I've yet to find one with obvious flaws in it. You do find that people that buy bullion at scale, they're buying tubes of 20 of these coins and probably cases of tubes of coins. They're not there to look at every single one, they're just there to accumulate silver. So that's why they feel that they're somewhat justified in not putting huge expense in the quality, because then they'd have to up the premium, and then it would divert away from the investment potential. So my feeling is that with the RAM, they use the term investment coin, part as a kind of a marketing thing, because they don't have to explain what that means. It's kind of self-explanatory, whereas bullion is a kind of a technical term people won't necessarily be aware of. So they're partly there to try and corner the market with people who are unfamiliar with bullion, but I think they're also kind of trying to hint that they're not skimping on the quality. But they obviously are doing quite well, because their prices aren't far off the price of any other bullion. So, for example, the coat of arms coin that came out this week was, if you phone, you can't buy them directly from their website because their price changes hour by hour. So you have to call them up, and they'll give you a price for that moment that you've called them up. And when I bought the coat of arms coins on Monday, they were $44.68 plus delivery, and that's about what you would pay for any bullion coin at that time on that day. So that was quite a fair price. You can get them from dealers, but dealers generally will not have the facility to change the price hour by hour. So they basically will pick a price they're comfortable with as an RRP on that coin, and they're considering it more of a collectible coin in that case. If you buy from the RAM, they don't have to charge you GST, because fine metals are exempt from GST. But if it's gone to the dealer, then it becomes a collectible. They do charge GST in most cases. So, and obviously, if it's gone to a dealer, that's another party that wants to get their cut. So the prices are never going to be as low as RAM can do. Some prices on the new coat of arms coin I've seen from $53 at one dealer to $65 at a few other dealers. So some of them are basically just protecting themselves in case the price of silver goes up whilst it's been listed, and others are putting their bets more in it being a collectible item. Mintages on these things vary. The new coat of arms coin is 50,000. So that might seem high versus a collectible coin, but remember, bullion goes all around the world. A lot of bullion collectors are everywhere, so that's still a limit. And a lot of bullion coins, American bullion coins have mintages in the hundreds of thousands or millions, and any limited mintage is interesting in a bullion coin because it adds an extra dimension to your investment. So you may find that, for example, this redback spider was very popular, and that's now quite hard to find. I had to pay, I think, $68 for this one, just because I bought this one and I really liked it, and I wanted to get the first one in the series. So, there's going to be a lot of things have got to happen before that's going to earn me any money as silver now. That's been more of a collectible purchase on my behalf, but it shows that if you have a coin that has a limited mintage, it has another way of making money for you versus the price of the silver, but you've always got the price of the silver to fall back on. Now, obviously, silver can go down as well as up, so you have to be prepared to either ride out any dips until it comes back up again, or just be prepared to make a loss if you're forced to sell your silver for less than when it was at a lower price than you paid for it. But a lot of people like collecting metals because it's it's tangible. You know, it's a real finite quantity item. You know, there isn't an infinite amount of silver, and you know, they may trust that a little bit more than currency. Certainly, when currency has some ups and downs in terms of its worth and potential. So that's why people are attracted to it. Now, obviously, there's no gold you've seen here, but a lot of these coins were available in gold. That's not something I've been able to invest in, given the cost. Given the cost of gold is, you know, about $2,500 for an ounce. But many people do like the gold ones, and most of these do have gold variants. But that's about it in a nutshell for investment coins. So if you see a coin coming up for sale in the Rand shop, that's labeled an investment coin. Now you know a little bit more about why it's called that, and also why you can't just add it to your cart. You've got to phone them up. And I believe they've got some more planned. They're doing 3 or 4 a year at this rate. And we'll have to see what else they come up with this year. I know the coat of arms one that was released this week is the planned first of a series. Whether that's a series of how many, I don't know. But yeah, if you're a collector of silver, I'd love to hear from your comments. If you've got thoughts on the matter, I'd love to hear them. Otherwise, yeah, please subscribe. We'll have some more videos coming very soon. And thanks for watching.